Okay, I just realized that last time, apparently, I didn't have my headphones set up, so that would explain why there was absolutely zero game audio last time. So that's funny. Yeah, I think I have topics that I wrote down after the last Hollow Knight video, of just things I want to talk about generally. Hold on. Ooh! Sorry about that. Also, I did kind of get to a better location here. I'm gonna grab a book. That way I can stand up my mic. I'm in my bedroom again. So. Alrighty. I did get back to the Mantis Village area. That way I wouldn't be exiled. But after last time, I kinda just... I mean, I'm not gonna become like a motivational speaker or anything, but I do want to talk about like just general things that I care about, or like topics that have some meaning to me. And so I wrote a bunch of them down, and now I'm questioning which ones I want, or which one I want to do today. Because like there's one about, I'd have to pull it up. It's on like a Google Doc about like just my growing up and how video games played a very big role in that. Another one is the difference between being alone and loneliness. Now that I think that one's not a bad topic for this week. Not because I'm relating to it or anything right now, but I mean, yeah, I think that'll be the topic. I think the main thing for me is that I know the difference between being alone and feeling, or the feeling of loneliness. Because there is a very big difference between the two. And I'll try my best to describe how I view them being different from each other. So in my eyes, loneliness is like not really a state, but it's more of... Oh, I didn't know that was there. It's more of like a feeling, because I don't know if you guys could tell, but I am an introvert. So being alone is like one of my things. Like there's one thing that I'm good at. It is filling up time that I am alone. And I mean, I love alone time. It is one of my favorite things. And video games has a big thing to do with that, but I don't have a high social battery is another thing. So being alone allows me to kind of recharge. Oh shit. But being alone, kind of recharges me and allows me to kind of get back into the world. I'm sorry, I didn't have my skin on. Let me fix that really quick. Okay, I also think this might be a little loud, and I apologize. Let me turn it back down. Okay. But, being alone is something that I personally love because of the opportunity that it gives you to just sit down and think about things in your life. And I feel like when I spend time by myself, I'm able to take the time and actually reflect on, like, it could be the day, it could be my past actions, it could be just something that, has stuck with me for a long time for whatever reason. But that can also lead into problematic tendencies, like overthinking, or like anxiety, and that kind of stuff. And you have to know when to draw the line of when it's actually helpful to sit down and like think about the past, and when it is just gonna get you in a foul mood and kind of just ruin your ruin your perception on other like daily activities. And that's something I can admit that I've struggled with a lot, is instead of viewing it as helpful, I just replay something stupid that I did over and over until I don't even know, like it just replays in my mind and then I feel awful about it. But it kind of like recently, and I say recently, but it's like, you know, I guess it is recent, but it's like the past couple of months, it has allowed me to spend time on doing things that I actually like and care about, like creating content for YouTube. Because obviously, there was like maybe the repo video I did where I spent it I edited it in a Discord call with my friends. That's not something I usually do. When I want to get something done, I will sit by myself and just do it, because I feel a lot more productive that way, and like I don't have to do anything for anyone but myself. So it kind of allows me to be creative and whatnot, kind of build off of what I want to do, because I don't have to show up for anyone, and I don't have to, you know, worry about how they're gonna think of me, because I mean, I kind of view myself as a people pleaser. That's just like, I want to be recognized for the things that I do. That's another thing that I said in my last video. Recognition was a big thing. So taking time and not having to worry about being recognized it's something I feel like a lot of people need but don't know how to go about it. So I think an important thing is for you to actually be able to sit down and realize that being alone isn't a bad thing, and you will need time alone to reflect on yourself. And I'm not saying like you need to like dedicate all this time to being alone. Like, sure you can. I don't really have like a designated time. That's not something I do. It's just kind of whenever I feel like I need it, I'll be by myself. I'll do something I want to do. And that's like the main thing for me. Continuing on, I noticed that being alone can... Oh my gosh, dude. Are there more of these guys? I feel like there usually isn't this many. But being alone has kind of helped with my personal relationships, like my friends, my family, that kind of stuff. It kind of allows me to break down the interactions that I've had with them, typically in a non-harmful way. Like I said before, sometimes, you know, you can't really help it, but you overthink, and that's not really healthy. And that's something I'm sure a lot of people could work on. But it builds a healthy relationship with yourself, which I think is way more important than trying to... Oh shit, these guys are enemies. Being by yourself builds a better relationship internally. That way, you aren't going into your friendships, your family, your relationships. Sorry, this guy's really loud. I don't know if you guys... I've turned on the game audio through OBS, so we'll see how that works. Anyways, I can hear myself think. But you need... I say this but it's true. You need to learn how to love yourself first before loving others. Because you don't want to have to rely on others for your happiness. I was in a position in my freshman or sophomore year of high school where I got into a romantic relationship and I used it as my only source of happiness. That relationship didn't end very well, or didn't, last terribly long, and it's because I was miserable in it. And no one wants to be with a miserable person who can't rely on themselves. Like, I'd say that's kind of the general consensus here. Because it's just, it's draining. It is emotionally, it's mentally, and physically draining on everyone involved when only one person is actually putting their all into the relationship. And after that, I had the time to reflect on myself. I was on the big, self-improvement. I went to the gym. I worked on myself in pretty much all aspects. And for a large amount of time, I felt like I was actually doing something good with my life. And that all came from recognizing that I was relying on someone else for all of my happiness. Jesus, man, these things are everywhere. So yeah, big takeaway from this section, learn to love yourself before you love others. That way you can truly feel happy in your relationships. And it's better for everyone that way. And trust me when I say it, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that kind of, that kind of relationship. And you will feel awful if you are the one who is being the miserable one who can't be happy unless someone else is, there with them. And that's not to say that you shouldn't, find happiness in other people. I am very happy when I'm with people that I care about, and I don't say it a lot to the people around me, but I truly love my friends. They are some of the best people I know, and they've always stuck around with me, even when I was miserable. They were the ones that stuck around after things didn't work out. So, choosing the right people is also another thing, but that might be for a different video, because I want this video to be about being alone and whatnot. It's not the topic that I want to be around. The next thing is I want to establish that, I don't know if I already did this, but being alone doesn't mean that you're lonely. You can enjoy your own company, and that is, I wasn't very good at it. Oh my gosh. To begin with. But after a while, you get better at it. Can I make that? Hiya! Okay. Does not appear so. But I think I said this in the beginning, but there is, that difference between being alone, which is, a state of being, like you're by yourself, and loneliness is that kind of horrible emotion you feel when, you feel like you don't have anyone around you. And I'm pretty sure I can say this, but we've all felt like that at one point in our lives. and I'm not some wise sage. I'm 19 years old. I'm not terribly experienced with all emotions, and, I'm sure I will keep, figuring out things, that aren't so great in life, because that's just how it goes. But I have, experienced enough to confidently say that being alone being lonely is one of the worst things that you can, like... Oh, shit. I want to get over there. Oh, yeah, like a pro. How am I gonna get back? Fuck. Shoot. Okay. But, I kind of lost my train of thought. I took a long pause there. I had to, it's something to do. I think I'm just gonna move on to another topic here. I think that being alone has, like, a very negative stigma around it, especially, in today's society, where people will try and, get you to be more social, and, with a lot more extroverted, how do I say this? People tend to be more extroverted in today's society than, I think, in history. Not recent history, just in history in general. And it makes people, I think, fear being alone, because they tie being alone with loneliness. And I think those two things can go hand in hand, but I think we have to keep them separate, because they are, again, two very different things. Also, I don't want to talk to Cloth because I don't want her to die. That's something I want to do. I want to save as many people as I can. Ah, shit. This guy's back. Oh my gosh. I can tank some hits. But since there's so many negative, emotions tied with being alone, I think people are generally afraid to be by themselves. And that can show a lot with, you see the everyday posts of, me alone at, 2 a.m. in the morning and my own thoughts. And, yeah, that can happen. But I think there's other things that are happening with those people that isn't tied to just being alone in your room at night. Because I love to be alone in my room late at night, because that allows me to, think about the day. Again, I'm not ashamed of my religion. I pray at night frequently, and I do a lot of workouts at night. So I think nighttime is a great time to be by yourself, because everyone else is off doing their own thing, sleeping, or I don't know. What do people do late at night? Mainly just sleep, I would assume. Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. I mean... I lost my train of thought again. Oh, I was talking about my religion. So yeah, I do all these things at night because I don't feel disturbed by other people. I don't, have to worry about other people, talking to me. Not that, I don't like conversation. But it is a big thing. Oh, I do not want to be here. But I think generally being by yourselves can kind of remove that background clutter that happens in our day-to-day lives. Like, you have all this noise, like people around you, and taking time, by yourself to think about that kind of stuff lets you, I don't know, have more peace with yourself. That's how I feel. Just generally speaking here. And again, I'm not, some... Oh, excuse me. I'm not some wise sage. Or some wizard with this awesome advice, but... I do think it is, kind of an important thing that we learn to be by ourselves. Oh, this guy's here. Hello, Quero. But I think another thing, going back to the relationships, being comfortable alone kind of helps you focus on creating that authentic relationship with people. Because you don't seek out companionship or relationships because you need to, not feel lonely, but you should kind of want to seek out relationships because... how do I say it? I should write down more of a script for this, because I have 3 bullet points I'm going off of, so I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record here, and I just keep repeating the same 4 topics. But a lot of the best relationships in life are built off of a mutual understanding that you don't need to fill the silence or break the being alone. Obviously, companionship is so that you aren't lonely, but that shouldn't be the main reason why you have friends, or you have, or you're in a relationship, or for whatever reason. I think you should have more reasons than that, other than a selfish reason, such as, I don't want to be alone because, it scares me. And I think that's why a lot of my relationships are successful right now, because I value my alone time, I value other people's alone time, and I have that, mutual understanding with people. And I think most of the people in my life know that I prefer to be alone, in most, cases here. Because it's no secret, it's a big part of my life. I don't want to be in this location. I wanted to go elsewhere. I think I also said this, but, being alone kind of allows you to focus more on your personal goals in life. Because it's hard to, actually be better at the things in life when you have all of that distraction. And not to say that people are distractions, but, is every person you meet gonna have something meaningful to contribute in your life? Probably not. Being alone is an opportunity that you should take to do that passion of yours. But you should have a passion that you're interested in, and then, pursue it, and obviously tell people about your passion, because, I feel like that's important too, to actually, you feel like, you have someone that's listening and will support you through it. But you should find that thing and you should work towards it, because do you really want to regret not being able to pursue your dream or your passion because you were too busy trying to please other people with, your socializing and whatnot? You kind of sacrifice your own personal wants and desires for other people's comfort or, for their enjoyment. And that's not to say, I'd say I'm a nice person and I'll still give up something so other people can have fun. But I don't think you should sacrifice, your entire self just for other people. I think there's a line that you need to draw, and you probably know that line. But yeah, the main thing in this kind of section here is find something to do in your alone time that you genuinely care about. And that is, what I'm doing now. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm doing something so good, or so, this is not like a noble cause. It's just genuine advice because it helps me. So I want to share that with other people. That way they can also experience the enjoyment that I see out of this. We'll buy this map from good old Cornifer. Alone time, you should see it as a gift, because not every day will you be able to sit down and think about everything that happened throughout the day, or, because you will have responsibilities in life. That is unfortunately something that happens. And learning to appreciate that alone time will give you a better outlook on the smaller things in life. So rather than seeing alone time as, something to avoid because you're fearful of the sadness or the loneliness that a lot of people experience with it, you should take that opportunity to, do the things that you love and embrace that being alone. And I want to emphasize this, that just because, somebody on YouTube is telling you to, love alone time, I don't want you guys to think that, it's all about, being alone. I think you need to have that strong social life, outside of, just yourself. You need to be social, go out, have fun, make friends, talk to new people, and overall not be isolated. Because you need to know what's right for you. And just because, you don't feel right, or the opportunity doesn't seem, like it's at the wrong time, but it's a wonderful opportunity, don't feel like you have to sacrifice that because you need to work on yourself or be alone or whatever. You should still seek out those social opportunities. Okay. I think I'm going to end this here, but I'm just going to go over, the things that I said. I think that being alone is a very important part of life in general. So I think that learning to enjoy being alone is one of the best things you can do for yourself. Because you will spend countless hours by yourself And you need to be alone in a non-destructive way with yourself. Because you shouldn't be beating yourself up over, the fact that you don't feel like you can build relationships or whatnot, or whatever it is that is tearing you up on the inside. You need to learn how to deal with those thoughts non-destructively. So, learning to be alone and doing things in your alone time that you're passionate for or that you find enjoyable is important. Because if it is just you, raw dogging that alone time, no phone, no nothing, just staring at a wall or the ceiling and letting your mind race, things can, pop up in your head that aren't good. So I think you need to not necessarily fill the void with, distractions and whatnot, but have something to do during that time. So if you can learn to be alone and to enjoy being alone, then I think everyone in your life, including you, will see the positive changes. So, yeah, I'm going to leave you with that. I'll see you next week. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. I don't know if it's going to be Risk of Rain or if it is going to be another group video. We'll see. We will see.